Hello, students. Welcome back to your computer science class. So, we finished learning operator precedence last class. I hope you all have got all the answers correct. We move further. Now, these are some punctuators or the delimiters, like we have full stop in English that marks the end of a sentence. You have quotation marks, you have question marks. Similarly, in Python, we do have some punctuators that help us to punctuate our code. You must have used some of these, yes? So these are all Python punctuators. And you know what? There is another punctuator that's on the screen but not visible, that is indent. Remember how you used to leave a two-finger space before a paragraph starts or, in an essay? Similarly, in Python, we will be using lots of indents to separate our code from each other, to specify the blocks of code within each other, etc. Okay, so these are all the punctuators or the delimiters that Python uses. Now, this is how a Python program generally looks. So right here, you can see this is a comment. So this is how you always start a code, any sort of a script. DEF over here is a keyword for making a function. Like we have ready-made functions like import and print. Python gives you the liberty of making programs, making functions, and that is how we use the DEF function, something you will not learn till 12th standard, but I will introduce you to it in the 11th. So this word here, key func, this is the name of the function. In the brackets over here, emp name and emp role, these are the parameters or arguments that we will need for this function. Now look here, can you see this area? We have left some indent here and then we have written this. So this entire indentation that we used, it specifies that this particular three lines fall under this function. Okay. Next we have a equals to 20. This is an expression. Okay. And then all these are called as statements. So a Python program contains the following components. It will contain an expression, a statement, a comment, a function, whether it is an inbuilt function that we use or a customized function that we create. And then it will have a block and indentation. Okay. Block is, this part is called a block code because this entire thing runs together. All right. So this is a bare bone of a Python program. What is an expression? Which is evaluated to produce a result. What is a statement? Instruction that does something. So if we go back, this is actually a statement. It's not an expression. An expression would be something like this. 20 plus 4 divided by 4 is a expression. Comments are which are readable for a programmer, but they are completely ignored by the Python interpreter. There are two types of comments. There is a single line comment which starts with a pound sign that I have taught you all, the hashtag sign. The other one is a colon comment, multi-line comment. You either write multiple lines that begin with a pound sign every time, or you can use three quotes. When you use three quotes, it is understood that the next line, that whatever you write after it, is a comment. Function is a code that has some name and it can be reused. And finally, block indentation. It is a group of statements in a block indented at the same level to create a block. Okay, so you will learn this indentation better when we start learning the next chapter. Okay, flow of control. We already know variables. You all know, you all don't need to know this. Okay, you all know L value and R value. L value and R value refer to the left and right side of the assignment operator. The L value concept refers to the requirement that the operand on the left side of the assignment operator is modifiable, usually a variable. And R value concept fetches the value of the expression or operand on the right side of the assignment operator. Example, amount equals to 390. So the value 390 is pulled or fetched and stored into the variable named amount, destroying the value previously stored in that variable if at all. Okay. Then we come to dynamic typing. Data type of a variable depends and changes upon the value assigned to a variable on each next statement. The first line we have x equals to 25. So x is an integer type variable. But then we have x equals to Python. So over here, x variable data type changes to string on the next line. Now a programmer should be aware that you cannot write x divided by 5 when x is of string data type. That will give you an error. Okay. Okay. So today I want you all to write a GST program in your script mode. How to calculate GST? So I will tell you the formula. GST formula is the GST amount multiplied by 100 divided by original cost. So I will do this for you over here, but after this, I am not going to even give you the formula. I'm only going to give you a list of programs that you all are going to do over this weekend. GST, I will show it to you all. Okay. Okay, so I have opened my script mode and I'm just going to show you all how a GST calculator would work. So I'm going to say, first, I want information from the user. So what I want the information, I will say how much percent of GST is applied. So I will say A equals to what is the rate of GST tax that we have to calculate. We'll take it from the user. Next, I will say what is the amount of the product. So B, I will say what is the amount of the product. So once I get these two things from the user, I can calculate the GST as equal to A, that is the amount, multiplied into 100 divided by the original cost of the product, the total amount of the product. Okay. And then next line, I'm going to print an output for the user, which says the GST will be, and then comma, and then what is the variable that holds the answer for me? GST. Let's run this. Of course, I have to save it first. If you forget it, Python is very kind. It actually tells you that you have to save. Let's say 5% out of 100. The GST will be 5. Yes? Have you understood what I did here? So this is one thing. So I'm going to give you a list of programs that you all are going to do. And also I want you all to create a notebook, a separate notebook in which I want you all to write these programs down, because in your exams, you all generally have to write some programs down. So I want you all to have a practice of writing the programs down. Okay. So the programs that I want you all to practice are: one, GST calculator; two, I also want you all to practice easy monthly installment calculator; three, I want you all to practice body mass image, BMI. I want you all to practice BMI calculate. These three calculators you all are going to do. You all will find the formulas on Google if you require. You will take all the inputs that you require from the user. So for EMI, you can say, okay, what is the total amount? How many months? And then every month, the amount you have to pay is, and then whatever is the answer. Yes, for BMI also, you will have to calculate the height and weight and everything. All right. So these three, you're going to do these three today. So I'm again leaving you all early because I'm giving you all work to do. Do this work and also create a notebook. And in that notebook, write these answers down. Is that clear? Okay. So with this, I end the class today. Stay home, stay safe, take care, and keep learning. Thank you.